and family, this is SP News Nuggets, and we've got two cases going on. We've got one coming out of Philadelphia where the husband stabs the wife in front of the children on Christmas Day, and they were all there to see what's going on. He chased her out in the streets and everything, and they found him. I mean, he didn't run, hide, or anything. And then we've got a story coming out of Detroit. So let me share those videos with you. Here we go.
Just before 3:30 a.m., 35th District Police responded to numerous 911 calls. A report of a hospital case, person laying on the highway in the 5600 block of North Masher Street, bleeding heavily from the abdomen. When police arrived on location, they found a 35-year-old female laying on the highway. She was stabbed multiple times in her abdomen. There was a 33-year-old male standing over her. Police picked up the female, rushed her to Einstein Hospital. She was pronounced dead at 3:36 a.m. Other officers immediately took the male that was standing over her into custody. He had cuts on his hand. That male was 33 years old. He was positively identified by numerous juveniles that were inside the property that said that that 33-year-old male stabbed the 35-year-old female inside of the property, chased her outside, and continued to stab her when she was outside. So that male has been taken into custody. He is transported to homicide, where he will be questioned by homicide detectives. We found a 14-year-old male also inside the property with multiple stab wounds to his thigh. He was bleeding heavily. Police rushed that 14-year-old to Einstein Hospital. Before taking him to the hospital, they put a tourniquet on his thigh because he was bleeding so heavily. Right now, that 14-year-old is in stable condition, and surgeons at the hospital are working on his upper thigh where he was stabbed multiple times, and he did lose a lot of blood. At the time of this incident, there were about 6 juveniles inside of the property, males and females, between the ages of 8 and 16, who all witnessed this 33-year-old male stab the 35-year-old female. At this time, we believe they're all related in some way. We did find the knife in a second-floor bedroom where one of the juveniles took the knife and hid it. He tried to hide it from the perpetrator so there would be no further stabbing or no further incidents. It's pretty clear from the crime scene inside that everything happened initially inside. We found the crime scene on the second floor as well as the first floor, which consisted of a large amount of blood. There's also broken glass. There's also overturned and broken furniture. So there was clearly a violent struggle inside. We believe that this 33-year-old cut his own hand while stabbing both the 35-year-old female who died and also stabbing the 14-year-old boy who is in stable condition at Einstein Hospital. The knife is described as a butcher knife with a 10-inch blade, and it is covered with blood. So the juveniles that were inside the property, we believe all of them witnessed the incident, or at least part of the incident. They are all going to be transported to homicide to be interviewed by homicide detectives. The individual we have in custody, who we believe is the perpetrator, the 33-year-old male, he will be treated at the hospital for injuries to his hands and then will be transported to homicide to be interviewed by homicide detectives. So the scene itself is going to be processed. The scene will be processed by our crime scene unit. It's a large amount of blood inside of the property where we believe everyone lives. The 2 stabbing victims, the perpetrator, and the other children, we believe they all live at this location. There's a large amount of blood inside, a sign of a struggle. There's also a large amount of blood outside where we found the female victim who later died. So the crime scene unit will process both of the scenes along with homicide We're also looking for any exterior cameras that may have captured the aftermath when the incident transpired outside.
Any idea on the relation of these males and the female?
We believe that the 35-year-old female that died and the 33-year-old male perpetrator, we believe they are husband and wife, or at least at one time were husband and wife. That's the preliminary information we're getting. We believe that the 14-year-old who was stabbed in the thigh is the son of the 35-year-old female that was stabbed and killed. But that is preliminary information at this time. But our initial information, preliminary information, is that everyone, they're related in some way, they're all family, and they all lived at the location where the incidents are.
Police arrived to the 5600 block of Masher Street to find a 35-year-old woman lying in the road, stabbed multiple times. She was rushed to the hospital where she later died. A 33-year-old man was taken into custody at the scene. Police say 6 children ranging in age from 8 to 16 were witnesses. They believe all of the people involved are related.
For this to happen early on Christmas morning, on a day that should be a family day, a peaceful day, it just makes it that much more hard to conceive. It makes it that much more hard to understand.
A 14-year-old was also found with stab wounds to his thigh. He is said to be at the hospital in stable condition.
A fight.
My baby died a hero.
And tonight, the suspect is dead, killed in a shootout with Detroit police.
And sources do confirm the man shot and killed on the city's east side tonight was the man wanted in that double murder in Redford Township.
49-year-old Dana Phillip and 18-year-old Lisa Blake were killed this morning in a home on Mercedes Avenue. It's near 5 Mile and Inkster Road. Our Nick Monticelli has been at both scenes in Redford Township and Detroit. Nick, I know you talked to family members of both of those victims.
And both are heartbroken and still have a very hard time kind of grappling with all of this is happening. As you mentioned, the double murder happened in Redford Township about 11 o'clock or midnight this morning. It all ended at this neighborhood bar near 94 in Van Dyke on Detroit's east side, with the suspect running into this bar, knowing Detroit police were going to be here, and telling those inside to get in the bathrooms.
To bring a child into this world, and now you have to lay this child to rest before you, that's something that's really hard.
It's been less than 24 hours since Lisa Blake was murdered in Redford Township, and her parents cannot stop thinking about the kind of person she was.
She loved her family. Family was everything to her.
But along with 18-year-old Lisa, 49-year-old Dana Phillips was also murdered in this home on Mercedes Avenue. We're told a very close male friend of the family was there when a violent argument began. Lisa is best friends with Dana's 16-year-old daughter and was there. The two teens ran upstairs. Lisa tried breaking it up.
My baby died a hero, but it's hard because I'm never going to get to walk my baby girl down the aisle.
In the meantime, Dana ran outside. That's when the man shot and killed her.
Dana's a sweetheart. She's a beautiful, beautiful person.
Evelyn Thomas Stewart is Dana's sister and does not understand what happened with a man they considered family.
This man who's been in our life for the last 33 years, who we considered to be our stepfather.
That man was eventually tracked down to a neighborhood bar on Detroit's east side near 94 and Van Dyke. Detroit police came with a warrant. He shot at them and officers fired back, killing him. Now, the focus is on the victims and the 16-year-old who saw everything.
She's not well. She lost her mother and her best friend and her face. You know, she's not doing well.
I cannot imagine the road to recovery for that 16-year-old. Now, I should mention the officers involved in the shooting here at the neighborhood bar, they are okay. They were not injured at all. 18-year-old Lisa Blake, her father was devastated, crying, saying how he was never going to see her graduate from college because she was just beginning a program to become a dental hygienist. And Steve and Sandra, maybe even making this a whole lot worse, in fact, definitely making it worse, is that there was a 4-year-old little boy. It would have been Dana's grandson inside of the home when all this happened. The family believes that he was in the middle of all of it.
Hey friends and family, this is SP. I just wanted to share with you guys that I know that this is the holiday seasons and everybody wants to have fun and everything, but be good and be safe and be nice to each other. And if you're not part of the family, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys Friday live at 5 p.m. Central Time. Bye.